A police officer in West Virginia who lost his job for refusing to shoot a suspect has settled with the police department to the tune of $175,000. Stephen Mater is the name of the cop who got fired. And the case all began when he was called to a home where a domestic dispute had occurred. He was immediately confronted by the suspect who was holding a gun. Now it was an unloaded gun, and Stephen Mater, the cop in the story, realized that this guy didn't really pose a threat because as soon as he was confronted by him, the suspect asked him to shoot him. And what Mater wanted to do was de-escalate the situation. He didn't want to shoot him. He told him, "I'm not going to shoot. Please drop the gun. Let's figure this out." And then 2 other police officers showed up to the scene and immediately shot and killed the suspect. Now, the police department decided that Mater had put the other cops' lives in danger by not shooting the suspect, and they fired him. Mater sued for wrongful firing and wrongful
termination.
Wrongful termination, there we go. And luckily he did win a settlement of $175,000.
Okay, so understand that the cops do an investigation and they go, oh, Mater was right. The gun was not loaded. He was trying to do suicide by cop. So you're fired anyway. So you showed proper restraint. It's not that there are a few bad apples and then once the bad apples are realized, they throw them out and they fix the bunch, right? No, there's actually a few good apples like Mater, and once they're discovered, they're immediately crushed and thrown away, okay? Now, why? Because that embarrasses the rest of the cops. We went and killed that guy we didn't need to kill, and it turns out you showed, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that we didn't need to kill him, so we gotta get rid of you, because it's embarrassing. You're embarrassing the rest of us who are cowards and don't want to take any chances, and we shoot, kill, because that's in the training. Look, when I say that it's not just a few bad apples, it's not to say all cops are bad people. That's ridiculous, right? But it is to say that the training is wrong. They train them to be bad apples. So when they get a good apple, they said, one of the reasons they fired him, they're like, you didn't follow protocol. They said he had apparent difficulties in critical incident reasoning.
I couldn't disagree with that more. He understood the importance of de-escalating the situation rather than shooting before asking any questions. The other cops arrived to the scene and immediately shot the suspect dead. And I commend Mater for his bravery. I commend him for understanding the responsibility that he had as a police officer. And Cenk, I agree with you, there's an issue with the training, but more importantly, even after the training, there's a problem with the culture. Because the culture, at least at this specific police department in West Virginia, is no, you absolutely have to shoot as soon as you think that this person might pose even a small risk. And if you don't, you will be punished, you will lose your job. That sends a very strong message to all cops. I don't think all cops, enter the force as bad people, as corrupt people, as individuals who want to cause harm to people. I think they genuinely start wanting to do good. But I think that they get tainted by the current culture that we're seeing in various departments.
We teach them to be bad guys and we encourage it. Look, if you shoot the wrong guy, you don't get fired. You kill the wrong person, you don't get fired. You don't kill the person and you're right, you get fired. I mean, it's crazy. And you think, like, I know some right wingers are like, oh, that Mater is soft, man. What if the gun wasn't loaded? Mater is a Marine veteran who served in Afghanistan, and since he served in really hostile situations, he said he had a sense of what is actually dangerous and what is not dangerous, and who's going to act and who's not going to act, and he wanted to protect a fellow citizen in West Virginia. He was looking out for you. He wanted to make sure, look, how many people in West Virginia have guns? A lot, right? He caught this guy on a bad day.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make sure that the guy didn't die on a bad day. And he's a veteran who's been through it before, and he wanted to make sure that he protected that guy's life. And they're like, well, you must be punished for doing the right thing because you're embarrassing the rest of us who are taught and rewarded to do the wrong thing.
He is exactly the type of person who is well suited to protect and serve. And even though I'm happy he received this settlement, right now he's employed as a truck driver. And that is such a gross injustice.
Yeah, whereas the guys who shot the guy unnecessarily are still cops in West Virginia. And one last thing, of course, afterwards, it wasn't just enough to fire him, they had to smear him.
Yeah.
So one of the things they said was, he put a parking ticket in the wrong part of the car once. Come on. And one time, he cursed while confronting a suspect.
Because that never happens with
No, you'd have to fire every cop. I mean, why don't you just say we're corrupt and we'd like to announce how corrupt we are by pretending that we care about cops cursing? Okay, it was a gross act of injustice. We got a little bit of justice today with the settlement, but he should be welcomed in any police force in the country. You just watched the video by the Young Turks, home of the revolution. If you'd like to get a lot more than that, get the full show by becoming a member. tytnetwork.com/join.